Three-quarter houses are some people's only choice between shelter and the streets. Tenants are oftentimes coming home from vulnerable situations, like being previously incarcerated, coming out of substance abuse treatment facilities, or have been chronically homeless. Virtually unregulated and unlicensed, operators have free range to do whatever they want, including cramming up to 8 people in one room, jury-rigging the electric, and allowing vermin to infest entire houses. Many times, tenants are mentally ill or suffering from a chemical dependency, and these go untreated throughout the duration of their stay. During my time at MFY Legal Services Three-Quarter House Project, I learned just how important safe, affordable housing is, especially for the vulnerable. While at MFY, I realized that there were 4 major issues that contribute to the conditions of three-quarter houses. The first is that illegal evictions run rampant. When a tenant first comes to a three-quarter house, the operator will force them to sign a document that waives their rights. Because these homes have no oversight by any government agencies, oftentimes operators throw people out on the street on a whim. Oftentimes when the police are called, the operator will show the police this document, and a lot of the times the police officer will side with the landlord or the operator and throw these people on the streets or have them be forced to enter one of New York City's already overcrowded homeless shelters. The second issue that I found is that three-quarter houses oftentimes advertise themselves as treatment facilities to referral agencies. Because Medicaid pays out millions of dollars for these individuals' treatment, operators take full advantage and oftentimes corroborate with the treatment program to receive kickbacks, putting thousands of dollars in the operator's pocket and giving little to no help to the tenant. Sometimes operators will force tenants who don't have substance abuse issues to go to treatment because they know it's more money in their pocket. In October of 2014, the New York State Attorney General charged the CEO of Narco Freedom, one of the city's biggest operators of three-quarter houses, with charges like Medicaid fraud. The third is that alternative forms of housing oftentimes are inaccessible to individuals who live in three-quarter houses. Supportive housing units, which are oftentimes units allocated to individuals who are mentally ill, chemically dependent, or chronically homeless, are incredibly overcrowded, and there are too few to fit the people who qualify for these units from three-quarter houses. Public housing like NYCHA virtually bans all individuals who have been arrested or convicted of a felony, and about 90% of three-quarter house tenants have had contact with the criminal justice system. And SROs, or single-room occupancy units, which are usually a last resort for individuals who are impoverished, they've been banned from being built since the 1970s, so there are very few that exist in New York City's housing market. The final issue that I found is that the New York City's Human Resource Administration allocates a mere $215 per month as a shelter allowance for single adults, a rate that hasn't been raised since 1986. Given the skyrocketing prices of New York City's rents, it's virtually impossible to find another form of housing that will accept that low of rent per month. During my time at MFY, I worked on building the Three-Quarter House Reform Coalition, created databases, and researched for hours about why these issues are so systemic in three-quarter houses. It turns out that referral agencies, like the Department of Homeless Services, city jails, state-run prisons and parole, and the New York State Office of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Services facilities will refer individuals to these houses without checking to make sure that they're safe or that they really offer the treatment that they're advertising. And once those individuals go and live in a three-quarter house, they don't check up on them to make sure that they're safe and receiving the treatment that they've been promised by these agencies. In May of 2015, a groundbreaking article was written by the New York Times describing the circumstances about three-quarter house life. And a day later, City Mayor Bill de Blasio called for an emergency task force to be created to investigate the conditions of these houses. And 2 weeks later, the city comptroller called for city agencies to end referrals to three-quarter houses. And while it'll be a long time until three-quarter houses are truly reformed, it is nice to see that city officials and decision makers are finally seeing that safe, affordable housing should not just be allocated to the privileged, but should be a right for all New York City residents. Thank you.